everybody, what's going on? It's Ragebox here, and welcome to the first ever Rage's Cantina podcast. I'm joined here tonight by my special guests, Nick, Serena, and some weird ass droid. We don't know about him, but anyway. So what's going on, guys?
Hi.
Yo.
Hello.
Okay, so tonight's topic, well, we don't really know. We're just gonna talk about Star Wars and shit. So, yeah, what was the topic, guys? What's your first Star Wars experience? That's what we were gonna talk about. All right, well, let's go to Nick first. You tell us, because I've been really wanting to hear.
Mine's actually kind of typical, man. Like, okay, so a little sad backstory. My dad was like in prison for years. So when he got out and I was like 5 years old, he seen what was it? I think it was Empire Strikes Back on TV. They were showing it, and it was about a third of the way through already. And I just remember him like I was over in the corner playing with Legos or something like that. He called me over and he set me down on the couch, and I remember watching this. I remember seeing how excited he got, and I remember seeing like this Darth Vader just as this epic, total fucking badass. I mean, just cutting off his kid's hand and all sorts of crap. And it was, I don't know. After that, me and my dad had kind of a Star Wars bond, and
Nice.
to this day, I yeah. That's
Always nice to see that at a young age, you know,
Yeah.
Vader.
Dude, I ran around for the next 2 weeks with like this little plastic green army helmet on. And you remember the old plastic dish strainer thing where you put your silverware with the holes on the bottom? I had that strapped to my face and kept running around going, it was terrible. Worst cosplay ever.
That's pretty great.
Hey man, you're making up for it now though, right?
Well, I try,
The whole Darth Vader get up.
Well, I'll get there eventually. That definitely beats a dish strainer drain thingy, a jigger. Yeah.
What about you, Serena?
My first Star Wars experience was my uncle on my mom's side, my mom's brother, when I was about 9, I think. I used to stay over his house all the time. He would like watch me, and I'd stay at his house, and he'd show me movies. And one weekend, he was like, okay, we're gonna watch 2 movies on Saturday night, and then we're watching 2 movies Sunday, and then each day we were watching 2 movies, and it was just nonstop Star Wars. And I believe he showed me prequels to original. That was the order he showed me, and I was very, very excited about it because I knew what Star Wars was. He's a big Star Wars fan. The prequels were super political though, and so I just didn't understand them, and I just sat there very bored until something exciting happened, and all I wanted to know was when I was going to see Han Solo, which obviously wasn't as soon as I wanted, but I loved the movies, and I've since rewatched them, and I love the movies even more, but it was pretty great.
Okay. I have a similar thing that happened to me. When I was a kid and I first got into Star Wars, I was watching a commercial, and it was for episode 1. It was pretty much episode 1 that got me into Star Wars, because it came out when I was like, I think 8 years old. And what had happened was, I saw the pod race scene, and I was like, okay, I gotta see this, because it looked amazing. The explosions and racing around in the desert, and I don't know what the hell it was. All I knew was I had to watch it. So for Christmas, my great aunt, she heard that I wanted to get into Star Wars, so she got me all the original trilogy on VHS. And now, me being a kid, I didn't know. I thought, oh shit, now I get to watch that pod race scene, dude. So I watched the whole thing through. I don't know if it was in one night, but I watched all of them, all the movies. I loved them, of course. I didn't even understand hardly what was going on, of course. But at the end, I'm like, now wait a minute, where's the pod race scene? I was like, where the hell's that? I watched this whole goddamn thing, and then there was no pod race scene. So I was a little disappointed. Then that's when I later found out it was a movie. By the time I found out, episode 1 was no longer in theaters, so I never got to see it in theaters. But I got it. It sucks. But I got it on VHS, popped that bitch in, watched it, and I love the original trilogy, don't get me wrong, but that was when I really got blown away with the lightsaber fights with Obi-Wan, Maul, and all that. Like, that was just, oh boy. And then I got the episode 1 video game, and that was probably my first Star Wars video game ever, and played the living shit out of that thing. Used to run around as Qui-Gon, like murdering people in Mos Eisley until the game like stopped me. That was great, because the game stops you after a while. Like you could go around like murdering people for like a really long time, but eventually it like either the Gamorrean guards will overpower you, or something will come up on your screen that says like it'll be like Padme has died, and then it'll stop your just stop your gameplay, so you can't just keep killing. But either way, it was like fun because it was like Star Wars Grand Theft Auto. But anyway, yeah. So that was my first Star Wars experience.
I actually have a question for Serena, since she's sort of our newer one to Star Wars as far as like age and like what she's seen and hasn't seen. Okay, so you saw the prequels first, you said, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. Okay, so what the hell did you think when like Anakin got immolated? Like, just the whole build up to the scene. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. You got the match thrown on him.
So when I was little, like the first time I watched it, it was like terrifying.
I could imagine.
And I was like, oh my god! Like it didn't like traumatize me in a way that's like a bad traumatizing, but it's like the feeling is very different than like now. Because like now it doesn't. I've seen way more gorier things, and stuff like that doesn't bother me. But when I was about 9, watching a guy like essentially burned to the brink of death was just like a lot. And the thing is I kind of already knew what happened. I'm not sure if my uncle had showed me that specific scene to explain how Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader, or if I had seen Robot Chicken Star Wars, because I loved Robot Chicken Star Wars when I was little. So I may have known from that, or
Gotcha.
It wasn't that shocking, but it was still like to watch the actual scene was like very heavy.
Yeah, I think by the time I watched episode 3, I was I think 14, so it didn't affect me all that much. But it doesn't like, it's not too over the top, Like,
no, but it's enough to make an impact for sure.
It is like, yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
brutal,
I mean, it's the most I've ever seen of someone burning to near death or death. I can't think of a single other movie. Well, let's see. What was it like? I think the original. Oh crap! What is that? Spawn? Isn't that what happens to him too? He gets set on fire, or some crap. Like, that's the only other film I can think of where I've seen somebody be. And even that, they did like a weird filter, and you didn't really see it too much. It was, This was like hardcore, man. Just.
But you're right, because like so in a lot of movies we see people like running across a screen when they're on fire, right? But we're not seeing the aftermath and like what it does to the body. So I think that is, for me, the most, I guess, detailed adaptation in a movie that I've seen. And that it's not that detailed, but it's again still impactful.
Oh yeah. Try watching it in 4K. It's detailed. It's traumatizing, man.
I can imagine.
See like the 3rd-degree burns on his ass.
I want to say, okay, so you said, do we know when episode 3 came out?
2005, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay, so I have a funny story. When I was about 4 when episode 3 came out, and this was way before I had actually watched the movies in a serious manner. But my uncle and my father went to see it in theater because they were so excited about it coming out. And they decided to take me. And I wanted no parts of it. I made my father miss like 3/4 of the movie because I didn't want to sit still. And I feel really bad.
That's terrible, dude.
I feel so bad.
While you were 4, I mean, you didn't really know what was going on, I guess.
I think he went back to watch it like the next week or something. They just didn't take me.
I saw episode 2 and 3 in theaters, of course. I'm so mad I never got to see episode 1 in theaters.
Same.
I'm sure you did. So when I saw episode 3, now something funny. So I went with my grandparents, of all people. I went with my grandparents to see episode 3. 14. And I remember my grandpa, like he's such a funny dude. As we were leaving, right, Like, you know, the final scene is like on Mustafar and everything. Like, that's like the final battle. All he said was, "Man, that place must have been hot." And I just started cracking up. Well, yeah,
you have everything. So. That's what he took away from it. That's crazy.
Yeah, like that was like the summary. That was the summary of the whole movie for him. Like 60-year-old guy. He was just like, man, that place must have been hot, dude. Like, yeah, probably. You gotta think, like, if you were on Mustafar, like how hot that would be. Like, there's just lava everywhere.
Oh yeah, especially when they're like flying over it, dueling. I mean, they're just a couple of feet away, right above the surface. I mean, you're still in that layer where you see like the heat waves doing this as you look through it. Like,
and how hot does lava get? But real quick, Roger's cousin, look up how hot does lava get for us.
We also got to hear Roger's first time.
Wait, what?
You mean Reginald?
Yeah, whatever his name is, Reginald. They
what,
both.
You think all droids are the same?
All droids look the same to me. That's just how it is.
You're disgusting.
That is racist to droids, and you're the reason the Trade Federation exists.
How hot?
Like, I know, like to get close, like within like 10 feet of it, to usually get like a sample of lava. They usually have to wear like a whole suit. So,
hold on, how hot? How hot?
The temperature of lava flow is usually between 700 to 1,250 degrees Celsius, which is 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, dude. That's crazy.
No wonder his britches caught on fire.
I'm saying, yeah, you can literally, all you got to do is be within a couple inches of lava, and you can just burn up.
Yeah.
Spontaneously, like, set on fire. Yeah.
If you're dry enough, like, you'll just go up, dude.
Oh, dude. And he had that long, beautiful, feathered hair.
And with a beautiful shirt on, too.
Yeah, it just went up like a match. I was actually watching that last night, and the thing I noticed is that his belt boxes sit there burning the longest. Like, the ones on the back of him just sit there just burning forever. The last thing's still just like this tall, and it's like... But it doesn't seem to burn his butt or snizzle too much. Like, when you see him roll over, that part was flat enough, his pants are still brown.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what you meant by schnizzle?
Yeah.
His schnizzle, his smoking a pancake, his bonging a blitz, his.
Have you seen it? Is there an exclusive DVD extra that you've seen and we haven't?
Yeah, I know. Like, what the hell? I ordered the wrong Star Wars flick. This is the wrong one.
Let me tell you what happens in the next episode. It turned out this whole time you didn't actually watch episode 3. You just watched a porno. Let's just say Leia has daddy issues while they're in prison.
Okay.
On to the next topic. Okay, so what do you got for us, Serena? What's the next?
The next topic, I have 3 different topics.
Tomba never told his story.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Who? Talking about Reginald?
Reginald, Reginald never told his stories.
Everyone always forgets the droid in the car.
All right, what's your first Star Wars experience?
My first Star Wars experience was I was 6 years old. I went to go see Episode 1 in the cinema, 16th of July, 1999, with my dad.
Amazing.
It was my first ever foray into Star Wars. So up until that point, all I knew about Star Wars was it was just like old movie from the 80s that everyone obsessed about that I just thought was boring because it was from the 80s or 70s, right? So I never took an interest in it. I watched Episode 1 with my dad, and it was phenomenal. It was like, you don't understand. At the time, because I didn't understand it at the time like I do now, it had been 20 years, something like that, since the last Star Wars movie, and the whole world was just in Star Wars pandemonium.
Yeah.
Everything you saw or wore or went near was Star Wars. If I went swimming at the local swimming center, the vending machine had Anakin and Spoolback on it with pod racing.
Even the Pepsi cans had Star Wars on them.
It was crazy,
cans,
man.
The Dr. Pepper, it all had
the Dr. Pepper, dude.
The Dr. Pepper. it all had Star Wars embezzled all over it. When I went to the cinema to get my drink, it was a big Pepsi, and it had Jar Jar Binks on it. I had Jar Jar Binks shower gel.
Bro, Jar Jar was everywhere, man. I couldn't walk 2 feet down the street without seeing Jar Jar.
I had Jar Jar Binks shower gel, that year, that Halloween, like if you weren't dressed up as Darth Maul, then you just weren't hip. You weren't fashionable.
Yeah.
True, it's true.
It was great. It was great. Everyone had those cheap plastic lightsabers, like the ones where you flick it and it would like extend.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah,
had those.
I had those. I
Hey,
had
don't
Qui-Gon
knock
one.
those cheap ones. Those ones were the best ones for fighting.
I had a Qui-Gon one, I had a Obi-Wan one, and I had Darth Maul one. But yeah, I watched the movie. It was absolutely phenomenal. The pod racing was amazing. It was like extremely. I've never seen something so like thrilling in the cinema before when I saw that. And then the reveal, because like you watch the movie and they set up Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to just be these badass Jedi, right? And you just think these guys can do anything. They're at the peak of their prime.
Mm.
And then Darth Maul is revealed in such a theatrical way. The music is on point. He's got the hood. He looks up at them menacingly. Qui-Gon's like, we'll take care of this. And then he reveals the lightsaber.
and of course you got the duel of the face.
Yeah, that double-bladed
Everything about the
lightsaber,
finale was
man.
amazing.
Everyone had one of those. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Me and the whole cinema, we were so shocked because when you watch the movie, halfway through the movie, Tatooine, he tries to attack Anakin, and him and Qui-Gon duel.
He tries to run him over.
Yeah, well, yeah. He tries to commit murder of a child he doesn't even know. But he and Qui-Gon duel, and he has one blade lightsaber. So I was thinking, oh, okay, it's going to be that kind of duel. So when he ignites his lightsaber and it comes out one side, and then it came out the other side, the whole theater fucking erupted. They went crazy. They absolutely went insane because they'd never seen it. It'd never been done. It'd never been done. It was a first. Everyone went crazy. The whole fight was beautiful, right? I now know now, but I didn't know then. Basically, pretty much everything you've seen in terms of fight choreography is real. So it's all practical in the sense that Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson and Ray Park, who's the body of Darth Maul, like the face of the body, right? They really
OG Maul.
It's all choreographed.
They practiced, and it was phenomenal. It was so fast. Like, if you watch the duel that leads up between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in the original trilogies, and how slow that is, considering what big characters they are, and then you watch like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, it was intense. It was amazing. It was like, wow, this is like on the edge of my seat, literally.
The interesting thing, a lot of people try to critique that about the prequels, is that the lightsaber fights are too choreographed. Like, they're too choreographed, right? And the counter argument that I like, and it goes along with the canon of Star Wars, is that the reason why it's choreographed, or that it looks choreographed, is because that's just how good the Jedi were. That they could sense their opponent's actions before, like, they actually did it.
That's actually explained several times,
So because of that, their fights look to be choreographed because they already know what moves they're going to make before
they already
make
know
them.
where to
That's
put their blade long before the other person even strikes.
Exactly. It's the same thing when they're deflecting blaster bolts. It's the same thing. So that's that. So it's like so many times people have tried to critique the prequels, and like 90% of critiques have usually just been like easily dismissible.
People don't like that explanation of because the Force. They don't like that answer. It's
it's the Force,
dude.
That's the movie, though.
Through the Force, all things are possible, and I'm pretty sure Yoda said that.
Yeah.
Essentially, why I'm
luminous being Zerby.
Yeah.
Terrible Yoda voice, but whatever.
But yeah, the fight was amazing. It made me realize just how incredible Darth Maul was, because he was holding his own against these two Jedi. Keeping in mind that Qui-Gon was trained by Count Dooku and Yoda, right?
Did we know about Count Dooku at the time?
What?
Did we know about Count Dooku at the time, or did he even exist yet?
No. We didn't know about him at the time.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
He was still, in terms of the books, which I consider canon, because George Lucas is the guy who made Star Wars. Fuck Disney.
I agree.
Fuck Disney. Yep.
I'll put that on the record. I agree.
Yeah, on the record, fuck Disney.
Yep.
But no, like, he was incredible, and that one was somehow even more incredible, because he used like a dirty little like tactic, a trick to like defeat him, and everyone like screamed, and it was just like,
No!
oh my god, it was like that scream with the music, like right on cue. It was so good.
You mean when he's like, no? Like,
Yeah, the music's like dun 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 dun. Yeah, like it was. John Williams is like perfect.
Well, that's
Qui-Gon
because what he
was-
does is like he'll be watching the scene and doing his thing, leading the band to follow whatever he designs his music based on the scene, rather than
Yeah.
he makes a bunch of tracks and then he's like, oh yeah, let's use number 11 for this.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason why he's so like famous.
Yeah,
and
well, you
renowned
guys got to
because-
understand something, and a lot of people don't understand this about Star Wars, is that it's an opera. Like,
Yes,
it's supposed
it
to be
is.
an opera, and that's why the music goes along with the scene so perfectly. It's supposed to, like how it does in an opera. See, the thing that the new Star Wars movies are missing, and why so many people don't really like them, is because it's not played out like an opera. It's played out like a sci-fi film. Star Wars is a sci-fi film, but it's also an opera, and it's also a western, and it's also all these other things. So the reason why it's just these new movies don't feel the same is because they're, even the shows aren't played out like operas either. They're just played out like sci-fi shows and films based on Star Wars instead of it. You know what I mean? And that's why it just doesn't have the same touch that the.
Yeah,
Indeed.
they've forgotten what the formula was, because you know the mouse they had. Okay, let me say this for fairness. All right, Disney has always had its formula that always worked for its films, like its princess films and soccer mom films or whatever. Okay, it had its formula that worked. You know, they focused on toys and really getting kids and all that kind of stuff. Star Wars focused on the films. Like, okay, George Lucas meant it to be a space opera for kids, and it did attract kids, but the way it was executed, the way it ended up, appealed to adults because of its various serious undertones, its fairly dark nature. There's always this, looming threat constantly questioning your own morality. Like that, the Empire Strikes Back, I think personally shaped me as a young man. Like what you learn from that film while Yoda is training with Luke, you have to. You just don't get that in the new ones. You don't get that in modern films in general. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the lore of the movies is so incredibly detailed that, like, you don't even no one can fathom how detailed it is without.
It's a whole
George
universe,
Lucas.
man.
Yeah,
nuts. It's
and
the
it wasn't
whole
just George
universe.
Lucas. People like don't make me wrong. George Lucas, OG, all the proper tribute, but
Yeah.
he also was the type that like 90% of like the what we call the old canon. He half the time he didn't even read them, but he signed off on everything. It was a lot of other writers. It was a lot of other content creators. Whether it was just his concept artist Ralph McQuarrie, or any of the dudes working in the shops. I need some space guns and some laser swords. One of them, like George Lucas didn't design Luke's lightsaber. No, it came down to one dude going, you know what? When I think of what he's describing, I think of the flash off a Graphics Graphics camera, and that's how that's born. It's all these little details have been created by the fans. It goes back to what was it, Lucas? I think was it Lucas's old logo, or LucasArts or whatever, their gaming end, for the fans by the fans or something like that. They were using that for a while, and we've lost that. Disney nowadays, for instance, if I wanted to make just a free for everybody, Star Wars game, whatever, wanted to rebuild Jedi Academy or Jedi Outcast, you can't, because the mouse will come along and be like,
Oh, boy, you better stop that right now,
turf, bitch.
Oh. Yeah, he owns Vader. He owns everything.
While you're on the subject of Ralph McQuarrie, it's
love
interesting
him.
you should bring him on, because he did a lot of the original concept art for the Star Wars movies, like the originals. And
Oh yeah, of course.
Luke Skywalker at the time, before he was called Luke Skywalker, his code name was Starkiller.
Yes.
Because they hadn't quite figured out what his character was going to be yet. So there's a concept art of Luke, and he's called Starkiller. And anyway, they went with Luke Skywalker, but they kept on like nodding up to this like fact, little Easter egg. In KOTOR, you've got Bendak Starkiller. In the Force Unleashed, Darth Vader's secret apprentice, because in the concept art, Luke was going to be his apprentice. But in Force Unleashed, his secret apprentice is called Starkiller. Just a nice detail, nice subtle touches that George did perfectly, that Disney just tries so hard and fails miserably at the time.
Yeah, and it comes back to where I was going, man, is that they won't let anybody but them have a go at it and say, no, listen, man, we ain't trying to come and step in on your money, but could you at least listen to us and not do what we're saying, make this film or whatever, but when you're gonna make a film, you're like, hey, we want to make sequels. Okay, 7, 8, and 9. All right, well, we've said screw the old canon, fair enough. We want to reset the button and make our own stuff, but at least base it on the original thing. Okay, well, let's leak some ideas out there, see how the public reacts, which they tried that method, but the problem was they went the complete opposite direction of what everybody wanted. Like,
remember those guys that were making the KOTOR fan project? It was kind of like a remake that they were doing themselves. Remember that?
Yeah, the Hyperion or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah.
They shut that shit down real quick.
Oh yeah, man. They got a decent ways. Actually, I know over.
They were all the way up to Manan, man. Like they had like the Manan, Athos City, like all. It was like pretty much all like planned out. They even have videos you could see online of their work on Manan, like what they've done. They had like Korban done, they had like Dantooine done. They were like so far in that project. I think they were working on that for like 5-6 years.
I know they
boom, Mickey shut it all down, dude.
They did some wonderful renders of the characters. Like oh man, one of my favorite pictures of Jolie Bindo is from that. Like he just, oh my god. It's like only one where I've ever seen where he looks semi-realistic so far. It's but yeah, love that old dude. He's grumpy.
What I don't understand about Disney, right? Think about it. Disney is a business company, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They spend money to acquire business.
Why don't they want to make more money?
Yeah. So thinking of it from a business perspective, right? Why would you, Disney, pay money to buy an intellectual property because everyone loves it and you know how much of cash cow it can be, and then you would spend money making it worse and thus like reducing your value of your IP you just bought? Like they shot all over Star Wars, those 3 movies. They shot themselves in the foot by switching directors constantly between movies. One of the directors didn't even care about what he was doing.
Rian Johnson gave no Fs.
One of the directors didn't even like have a clue what was going on because he was just confused. He was just like, Disney were like, here's the film, fix it, do it. Like he didn't know.
Well, they went all over the place. Like episode 7 looked okay, like it was doable to turn into something good, and then 8 just went the complete opposite direction. Like they just took everything that JJ set up and said fuck it, and then Ruin Johnson, I like to call him, just did whatever the hell he wanted to do, and literally he even said he doesn't care about the mythos of Star Wars at all. Like he doesn't. He's just making the movie because he wants to make it. Right, exactly.
You know, and
those movies aren't canon to me. Like it doesn't really.
Yeah, I don't like Disney, like what ifs or something.
Right, like it's like a fan fiction, dude.
The thing is that was one of the first sparks of what was to come. Think about the time frame and everything. This is all pre-Rona and everything, and this stuff is still going on today. Like you have this even going on now with like the whole G4 thing. It's the exact same thing. A company not listening to its fans, and when their fans do say something or speak out, what did Disney do? What does G4 do? Oh, you're a sexist, you're a racist, you're you just hate women. Oh, it's just all fucked up shit. It's yeah, you see the same damn thing going on, man.
Did you ever catch the race baiting that they did for episode 7? They released posters they released posters of.
Was this the
Finn.
ones where Finn is big and then over in China he was small?
No. That's China. That's a whole other like kind of ones. No, they released a poster of Finn, right, where he's got the lightsaber like ignited. He's got the blue lightsaber over his face, making him look like a Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I always thought they were going to do with 7.
I thought that as well. I thought maybe he would have some kind of potential, you know.
I thought we were going to have like multiple
that.
people, all Force sensitive, trying to come together, you know.
And then they just completely destroyed his character and any hopes of character development whatsoever. They just made him a generic, like, boring character with no real, like, foundations to who he is, essentially. And the whole movie just felt like a love note to Mary Sue's. You know, with race and all that like social justice warrior like wokeness that they were trying to push, all that stuff. And then the final kick in the teeth for any true Star Wars fan was, who are you? I'm Rey. Rey Skywalker.
It was shitty.
No.
It was shitty.
No, you're not.
What I thought was going to happen with Finn was I thought it was going to be another Kyle Katarn story. Do you guys know about Kyle Katarn?
Oh yes, I know all about Kyle Katarn.
Well, Kyle Katarn he was in the Jedi Academy games. He was in Dark Forces and all that. Basically, he was a stormtrooper that defected from the Empire, became a spy for the Republic. Not the Republic, but the Rebels. And over time, he actually finds out that he's Force sensitive after he meets Luke, and he joins Luke's academy, gets training in the Force, and becomes a Jedi. So he went from, like, stormtrooper to spy for the Republic, or, again, the Rebels, and then he becomes a Jedi, and he actually helps Luke build the academy and train other Jedi and stuff. And he's a pretty big character in the old post movies canon. Like he's huge, but he's been and he was a favorite character for a lot of people. Now I never played Dark Forces all the way through, or Jedi Academy or any of that. I do plan on doing that for Star Wars Wednesdays, guys, so don't worry, we will get to that eventually. But so Kyle Katarn's not that big for me, but I can understand how for some people who love those games, he's probably like their favorite Star Wars character, and he's just been like, by Disney, he's been erased. Like he's gone. Like
the
you don't see
closest
anything
they
about
got to him was
It's a
Rogue
shame.
One. Like when they originally talk about bait switching and all that kind of crap. When they first released the original poster for Rogue One, we didn't know anything about the story and all that kind of crap, except for a little bit that those two were going to get the Death Star plans and all that kind of stuff. That was all we knew. So you see the poster of them, and you see him walking next to her. And even their names just kind of ring sort of similar to Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors. Jan Orso, Jan Ors. Like the way their costumes were designed, like his tannish sort of beigeish shirt with the gun off to the side and the brown pants. It looked like a total relaunching of those characters, rebranding, reimagination. And they just pissed him off. They just killed him needlessly. But Rey gets to live and take the name Skywalker.
So that's another thing I want to talk about, and I want to kind of segue into something else. So in episode 8, one thing that bugged me the most was the casino scene.
Oh God.
Not just because it was a completely pointless part of the movie that like didn't have anything to do with the plot, but because it just didn't look like it belonged in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like it didn't look like a Star Wars casino. It looked like something from Star Trek or some other sci-fi. You know what I mean? It didn't have the same Star Wars kind of rustic feel that we're kind of used to. And I get that like not every place in Star Wars is going to be like that, but it was just really
too much of a jump.
Not Star Warsy. I don't know how else to say it. Like there's just something missing, and I've noticed that again recently in the Book of Boba Fett. Now I know. Now, if some of you guys aren't caught up on that, I'm going to talk about episode 3 very briefly. So if you're not caught up, just
are you
cover
going to
your
bring up
ears
the
or
Power
click off now.
Rangers mobiles?
Yes, dude.
Oh my
that
God.
shit does not look like it belongs in Star Wars at all,
No.
dude. And the characters that are riding them too. The one guy's like in
Wearing
a
like street
tuxedo.
clothes. Looks
The
like
one guy, I mean, I'm one to talk though. I mean, look at me, I'm one to talk. But he's in a freaking like tuxedo like suit. It just doesn't look Star Wars.
it looks like they
at
took
all.
people from the 80s, time traveled them like
Bro,
to the future with.
It looks like they took people from Cyberpunk or
Yeah.
some other and put them right into Star Wars. It doesn't fit, man. It
I
doesn't
would be
fit.
embarrassed to go on set in that outfit, like into a Star Wars set, and that's going to be my costume. That's what I'm going to be known for, is something that my mom wore in the 80s to go on
And
a
it's
date
Jon
and get
Favreau
laid.
too, man. That's the worst thing. It's Jon Favreau doing this show, and I don't know, man. I used to have so much faith in him, and now I'm starting to lose it. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's really Dave Filoni's the only one that like never makes a mistake. Like John is a little wishy-washy. I feel like Kennedy still got her claws in him a little bit. She could still like make him do what she wants, you know. But as far as Dave Filoni goes, he everything he does is like pretty much how George would have done it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. They need to make him the head of Lucasfilm. Like honestly, that's I think things would go a lot better.
blasphemy, bitch.
Shut up.
You gotta
Anyway,
make that trend on Twitter.
oh boy.
They Filoni to run the studio.
Trust me, it's I don't know, but
Oh, I wish they'd just get sued already. Be like, dude, you have destroyed this LP. I know there's like no such thing or way to do that, really, but like fans
they own it.
unite
There's
and
no-
just
they can do
sue
whatever
the
they
shit
want
out
with
of
it.
Disney.
They could like put Ewoks and tutus and like make them dance all over the fucking place. That could be the next movie they do, and there's absolutely nothing we can do legally about it.
You're defiling. I don't know. Just get your crap together.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Who?
They just ruined it. I said it's like the Godfather quote.
Oh,
But yeah, like it doesn't have the same spark or soul that it once had with George Lucas. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. Because that's why everyone likes Star Wars. It's not because it's in space, not because it's flashy, or aliens, or whatever, because you know, you can watch a lot of movies and have that. It's because there's a feeling. There's a feeling of like mystery. There's like a mystery and wonder to it.
There's some
know?
deeper thing there, you know, that like it's hard to even explain. But you can like look at something, like you can look at two like an image from two sci-fi movies, one being like I don't know, Blade Runner, and one being Star Wars, and you'd be able to pick out which one's Star Wars because it's like it's got that look,
any
like that
frame
iconic
from
look.
any film, and you can tell which one is a Star Wars frame. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
It just has a certain feeling, like a certain.
It'd be like a random picture of the sky, like a cloud sitting. You'd be like, oh, I know those clouds.
Yeah, or the twin moons on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna.
It's
What? What were you
what?
gonna say?
No, go ahead, sir.
I wanted to, because we are 40 minutes in,
Oh crap! Yeah, we got to cut this.
and so I was gonna end it with some fun questions.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
boy.
Question of the day. Serena's
Oh boy.
So-
question of the day.
We're gonna do a more universal one, and then we'll do a more personal one. So the
Okay.
universal one is, in your opinion, what we'll say, what order did you first watch them in, and what is the correct order for you to watch the movies?
I'll go first.
Boy, what a controversial question.
That's
Oh
why-
man, that
So-
one's gonna take more than 5
Well,
minutes
no,
just for
we're not
one
go-
person.
We're not gonna go into the reasons why.
Okay, just list your order and go with it.
Yes.
Okay, I would
Okay.
definitely have to go 5, 4, 6, and then 1 and 2, 1, 2. Jump to the Clone Wars series. 3, end with Clone Wars season 6, and then yeah.
Okay.
You know, Nick, I said I was going first, but that's okay.
You know what?
This is my cantina, Nick. All right. Anyway.
You know what? I
Just kidding.
I pay the electric, not really, but still.
No, it's fine.
He don't like
He paid for the dancing girls in the back. Nick paid for the dance. All right. So for me, as I said, I watched all the original trilogy first when I was a kid. So 4, 5, and 6, and then I watched 1, 2, and 3, and yeah, that was it. Just, I mean, I don't know like when I watched Clone Wars and all that, but yeah, it was pretty much the classic 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. But the way you should watch it is you should watch 4, 5. Okay, stop before 6. You go 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, and then 6, because it's called the flashback order. So it's like you watch 4, you watch 5, and then you watch the prequels to see like how it all happened, and then you finish it off with 6, like you wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Which is the end of the whole thing, right? So it's a brilliant way to do it. If you haven't watched it in that order yet, guys, I would do it. It's fucking great. It's great for a binge too. And yes, that's how I recommend watching.
That is my favorite order. Like I've said before, I watched them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was the original way that I watched them for the first time. But I will agree with Rage that what is it? 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, then 6 is the best. Yep. The best order.
Yep.
See,
here comes Reginald. He's gonna be like, well, I actually watched it 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, because fuck you. All right, go ahead.
I do really like the flashback order. Like, it is really nice. It's an interesting way, and again, I like to watch like that. But the way I personally would like to watch it would be 1, 2, then the 2003 Clone Wars, which was like Samurai Jack style. Then the Clone Wars movie, the live action. Then the Clone Wars animated movie. Then the Clone Wars TV series that Dave Filoni did. Then Episode 3. Then Rogue One. Then 4. Then 5. Then 6.
Okay, fair enough.
Incredible.
All right.
That's just the way I would do it.
Well, this is the last question.
Oh, we got another, huh?
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be it.
No, this is the last question. And it's me combining 2 questions, because I was going to say, what's your favorite side character? And then what's your favorite Jedi and your favorite Sith? And again, you don't got to tell me why, but just, favorite side character, favorite Jedi, favorite Sith.
Side character. I guess Han Solo would be my favorite side character. I mean, I don't even know if I'd call him a side character. He's pretty much involved in everything in the original.
But he's not a Jedi or a Sith.
So anyone who's not a Jedi or a Sith basically counts as a side character?
Yes.
Okay.
In the question, yeah.
Then I guess Han Solo.
Okay.
He's my favorite character in the original trilogy. And then what is it?
Would you count like Mandalorian or Boba Fett as a side character?
Yeah, that's fine. Again, as long as I'm talking Jedi and Sith have their own category of character. And then favorite, I said side character just as a generic term for every other character.
Okay, so side character for me, like I said, Han Solo, and Jedi. My favorite Jedi and Sith. Now, are you talking about from the movies and like the shows, or can it be from games or anything?
It can be from anything, whatever you'd like.
So I'd say my favorite Jedi is probably Revan, and my favorite Sith is probably ℎ𝑥R because he was like insane. If you guys ever read about him, nuts. So yeah,
he was the first Dark Jedi and the first one to make a double blade.
Yeah. Nick?
I think Nick fell asleep.
I'll take Nick's turn since he's like not talking.
Oh, my bad. I had my mic muted.
So professional.
My bad. Okay, so side character that's not a Jedi that I like.
Yeah, so what's your favorite character that's not a Sith or a Jedi?
Oh, my favorite character that's not a Sith or a Jedi would definitely have to first go to R2.
Okay, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a very good choice.
And then your favorite Sith, favorite Jedi?
Darth Vader and Qui-Gon.
Good choices. Reginald?
Okay, so my favorite side character, unpopular opinion, but
it's me, Bob. Sorry.
It's Lando Calrissian. I really like Lando.
Lando's cool.
He's suave. He's a charmer. Like, he's just as good with a gun as he is with his his eyes. He'll flash you a look, then kill you. I don't know. I just like him. He's just like, I don't know. He's just cool. He's Lando Calrissian.
Lando Cool Rizian, everybody.
I like
Remember
that.
that.
Honorable mention. I have to mention it. Jar Jar Binks.
Of course.
Completely
Hell yeah,
Yeah. Why
completely
not?
underestimated
Oh,
and
dude.
unloved by everyone. You know what? They're wrong.
Yo, would you
He's
kiss
great.
Jar Jar for 1,000 credits?
Do the 10.
That's
I'd do it for nothing.
And with that, boys, I think we're gonna wrap up this first episode of the Cantina.
Hello?
Oh yeah, you.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
nobody
and-
cares,
This
Meg.
is- It's just the mere mention of Jar Jar gets more heart. He has to leave.
Yeah, and Reginald never even mentioned his favorite Jedi or Sith.
Exactly. My favorite Jedi is, I'm gonna have to agree with Nick, it's Qui-Gon.
Okay.
He's just the best.
I think
It's
so.
amazing. And then Sith, it's gotta be Darth Maul. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Darth Maul
Gotta
is
be.
so good, and then they fleshed him out. They fleshed him out so much in the Clone Wars.
Well, it makes sense. He too is only half a man.
It's just
Hysterical.
he's just,
Wow.
He's just great. He's just great. He's like, when I think of the Sith, I think of him. You know,
Well,
he's just great.
so my favorite character is Jar Jar.
Oh,
It
what?
was gonna be a tie of like Han Solo or
Like,
or
really?
or Chewbacca, but yeah, I mean, who is not like a Jedi or a Sith, a Jedi or a Sith, or is no.
I don't know. Some people like to think he's a Sith.
Well,
Miss
is it
Jar
canon?
Jar.
Is it proven? If it's not,
Probably
then-
no, not really.
No, it's not. It's like it was a theory, but it's been like said and told.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I think Jar Jar is great. My
Jar
favorite
Jar is pretty great.
my favorite Jedi is Mace Windu,
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Good choice.
and my favorite Sith is, I'm gonna have to agree with Tomba, not Reginald on this one, and it's Maul. It's Darth Maul for sure. 'Cause
Definitely
he was
have
like-
to.
he's the first
Stop
Sith
saying that
ever
name.
I've ever seen. So, yeah, it's more of a nostalgia factor for me.
The more you say that name, the more he has to cut out.
Yep.
Damn, guys, give me. All right, now with that, that's gonna do it for real this time.
Okay.
For the first podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna be doing more of these. I think we're gonna try and do at least one a month, right, guys? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
not more, but starting out, yeah.
Yeah.
if we get more popular with it, then we'll probably do more. But and then we'll have guest stars on and things like that too. But
Yep.
By the way-
at any rate,
By the
Go
way, if
ahead.
you guys got topics you want us to talk about or whatever, just leave them down in the comments. You know, we will we'll listen.
Yeah, for sure.
sure.
We may not like
Alrighty,
them,
guys.
but we'll listen.
What? No. Nobody's saying
Which is
that.
what
All
the
right.
Disney does.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
We won't
Well, that's
ban
true.
you just because you have difference of opinion.
Alrighty, guys. See you next time, and peace out.
Peace out.
Catch you later.